Witness history in the making. The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025. Small boat, huge adventure.
Japers. Oh, that happened. I didn't do anything then. We had 4. Good morning, everyone. It's the last day of the month where we are. Anyway, we get the sun pretty quick in Fiji, not as quick as Tonga, but anyway, the day started here. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're looking forward to seeing the fleet. They're not very far away. They're just over there. So we better hurry up and get back in the water. Anyway, all is good, and nothing extraordinary, touch wood, to report right now. I haven't had a good look at the tracker yet, but all is moving along quite well. Some of the people here just wandering past while I'm getting eaten by mosquitoes and polishing the hull and putting bits on. Also, when are they arriving? Well, not all, but anyway, yesterday was quiet because it was a public holiday here. We kept working, and it's been we should be in the water on maybe Monday afternoon, so not long to go. Anyway, we are just waiting for the fleet to catch up, and it's quite interesting. I talked about hats on the intro for this one, and that's born about the fact, not because I got no hair and I always wear a hat, is the conversation of where are the boats going? Where are they going? Are they going to Vavau? Are they going to Pangai? I don't think anyone's now planning to go to Nuku'alofa. And it's a reflection on in the cruising life. I always used to define it by the type of hats people wear. There's 3 groups with voyaging across the Pacific and taking a lifestyle on boats. And we've got to remember that the MGR is actually a race, okay? And there are, there's a big proportion of the fleet that are just racing, but at the same time they're enjoying the scenery and what's going on. But in cruising life, there's 3 types of people I generally classify it as. And there's no, I'm just sort of saying there's the group of people that just want to get around the world. These are people that buy a boat and they're off, following the dream, circumnavigate, and it's a whole new experience for them in terms of lifestyle, even though they're good sailors, and they take off, and all it's about is creating the miles, stop off at the ports, get the things done, go to restaurant, go to do this, that, and the other, and then they get back on their boat and they carry on and get to the next one. And you can do what our guys are doing, and they get around the world in about a year. So that's one group, and they tend to be in an anchorage, and they go and have cups of coffee with other boats in the anchorage, and occasionally they go and hit the beach and have a barbie or something like that. That's about it, right? And then the next group of people is, and they wear particular types of hats, like the I haven't got one here, like the MGR hat, or pretty slick, pretty ordinary, traditional, conventional. That's it. Then there's the group of people which they usually take about 2 or 3 years to get around, and they'll have some fun. They'll go and explore. They'll do whatever. They'll quite often have a few toys on the boat, and they're really settled into their boat. They're not in a rush. They don't have a definite plan. If they miss a year, doesn't matter. They'll extend it to 3 or 4 years, and that's how it goes. And they'll have hats like this, like keep out of the sun. They go and do different things, They might be fishing, they might be diving, they might be, exploring. And they'll, so often back in the day, before the internet and computers, they still had a purpose, They'd think of something they wanted to do or some hobby that was their main focus. And then you get the guys and the people that that's their lifestyle. They're on their boat and they don't stop. They just keep going, It's forever. And they've got no set plan. They might be cruising for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And boy, the hats they wear completely different. And they're after the experience, the lifestyle. It's their home. That's all they do. They don't think beyond their boat. And they've got a different type of hat again, full of holes and big, straw hats and do whatever, And for me, I was in the middle road. I'm getting to the point in a minute. When I left on my little Sky, which is a 29-footer, only 21-foot waterline, very small, 7'6" beam. On that boat, I had so many toys, you wouldn't believe it. I had my scuba diving gear. I had a compound bow, hunting bow. I had a recurve bow. I had an M1 carbine, that's right, 9mm shell, put it in boom boom for pigs and goats. I had 2 spear guns and a hand spear. I had all the fishing gear you could imagine. And I had cameras and stuff because I was right into photography and bits. And that was it. That was my world, we just go. And it was all about getting to a place and having fun. As soon as you hit there, launch the tender at an 8-foot Beaufort inflatable. You're off. I had a seagull outboard to start with, but that got pinched. And it was all about toys and fun. So now the conversation, Ayrton, carrying on with the Ayrton story. I think I told you he's changed. He's going to Vavau because they got restaurants there and got civilization and bits and pieces. But prior to that, Jacob had sent us a message and said he's going to Pangai on the strength of what Ayrton was saying. So I'm waiting to see where Jacob's going because he's got some hunting gear on board. Not that you hunt in Tonga, but yeah, they're two completely different types of experiences. And I hope at least a few people go to Pangai and a few, there's a bunch going to Vavau, and then we get to compare the photos and the videos, and that'll suit the lifestyle of what's going on because they're cheese and chalk. But anyway, they're both good fun. But I'm sort of laughing. I think, oh, jeepers. Anyway, the story of the hats. Rightio, let's get onto the tracker and stop all this fluffle. We just wasted 6 minutes. Crikeys. Okay, so you're on the tracker there, and I'm going on the tracker here. Okay, looking pretty cool. So Gary's still in Papeete. I got a photo of him today, which was good, from one of his mates, a schoolmate that met up with him in Papeete. So he was pretty happy about that. Josh on the way. Renaud's getting very close to Niafu here and Vavau. So weather looks pretty stable, nice sailing. Things seems to have gone quiet on social media. We haven't seen much pop up to share. Maybe we missed it, but it means that they're all enjoying the ride. There shouldn't be too many squalls there, except for the usual stuff. They've what I call light squalls. You always get them. It's part of the trade wind deal. Everyone seems pretty happy. Anyway, Josh doing 4 knots, 101 mile day, just squeaked in the mandatory 100 mile day. And Jasmine, 4.6 knots and 108 mile day. That's cool. Ayrton pulling away from Jasmine, 112 mile day and doing 4.4 knots, enjoying the ride. Adam, 5.1 knots, 115. He's got the pressure on, feeling fit and healthy, using those muscles he's developed. Jeepers. Jacob, 4.8, 110, slowing down a bit compared to Adam, lost 5 miles. Eric, everyone's following Eric. Oh, Jacob's on the move north. That means he might be going to Vavau. There you go. Eric doing 4.8 knots and 109 nautical miles in the last 24 hours. Christian, he looks as if he's losing a bit of ground there. 110 miles, still holding true, but that's kind of interesting. 4.9 knots, and I'm on the wrong scale here. I should have this up a bit bigger so you can see what we're talking about. But that's it. That's the dividing line for the middle group there. And this is the middle group, Jasmine to Christian. Josh is the only tail ender with Gary waiting to take off behind. So Dan slowly closing in on Kerry because Kerry's going slow, as we know. 5.6 knots, 126 mile day. He's hooting. That's pretty cool. And Kerry, 5.4 knots, 119 mile day. Must be good sailing there at the moment. Because maybe Kerry's feeling a bit better. He can get up and change a few things. Maybe the drugs are kicking in and all that sort of stuff. So that's good to see. Can't let Dan get past you, Kerry. Keep it up. And Peeler, 5.4 knots, 125 mile day. So that's even bigger than, just one under Dan. So Dan's closing in on Peeler. Holiday Dan, 123 mile day. Ooh, he's keeping out there, 5.4 knots. So no one's catching Holiday Dan, but is Renaud moving away from the rest of the fleet? 118, no. Holiday Dan's picked up a little bit there, doing 5.6 knots at the moment, but only 118 in the day. Getting very close to Tonga now. So we'll just talk about some of the statistics here. Here we go. Still coming in from the north, which is a pretty respectable way to approach. And Renaud is currently, if his timeline's right, to 8 o'clock. He's going to go around the top of the island there, 100 miles away. So tomorrow morning, local time, Renaud will start to make his way up the sort of fjord. It's like a fjord, a very deep fjord there, and make his way towards the anchorage. There are plenty of good things to do in Vavau as well. I'll probably hear about it. There's Swallow's Cave, which is a snorkeling place or a diving place just down the opposite end of the entrance to the harbour there, and there's a couple of cool little, anchorages around the back. Now you got to pay for the anchorages up in Vavau. You go wherever you go. I haven't followed up on it, but I think it was last year the locals started to charge money for the anchorages every day, and that money is used to support their special zones. They've got special environmental zones where there's they're basically stopping fishing in areas, to rejuvenate the fish stocks and look after the coral and all the rest of it. When we were starting a Marine Discovery Centre, we were working with a few people on that up in Namuka. So, because Namuka had a zone there that was hadn't been touched for 15 years or 20 years, and it was stunning. It was amazing. So anyway, you pay a fee for all your anchorages, but that money is put to good use by the local community looking after those zones. Okay, so I kick out of that one. So a day away there. Dan will be. I might as well do the same thing. I'll give you the distances to see transom to transom for Dan. He's 148 miles away, so hasn't caught up a lot, but hasn't lost ground, so still holding his own. So that's good. And then Pila is from Dan about there, 100 miles behind. So they're all going to be a day, and Kerry's still going to Pangai because it's a little bit easier to enter when you're sailing and stuff if his back is a problem. So, but it looks like he'll be the first one in, so he'll have to kick the anchor over. That's cool. And let's look at the weather here. If I kick this back, come on, get out of there. Kick this back a bit. Wrong way. Oh, no, it's not. It is, sorry. I'm a bit slow this morning. Big day yesterday on the boat. Boom. We want to keep going back. That's probably enough to see what's going to happen. But now we'll just kick it forward every day, every few hours. Internet's catching up. Nice breeze. Looks like it's still light, but that's within 24 hours. So no, there's a nice breeze for taking the lead boats into Vavau, and might go a bit light for Josh at the back. And generally it's the same. It all looks like it's sort of 15 knot average through the whole fleet for the next couple of days, which is good. Big winds up around Apai and Samoa up there, bits and pieces, but everything's gentle along the bottom. So they won't be making big speeds like the 120s and 125s, but they'll certainly crack their 100-mile days, and some will be 110, 115. So all the way in, and then by the time that's 4 days in. So the middle fleet is going to have a fast ride towards the finish. Oh, and then it's coming up a bit there. It's the 4th, 5th. So no shortage of breeze. Okay, so that's all. And then we've got Popeye and John. I don't think they've left yet. We'll just come back here and have a look. Oh, too far. Sheepers. Yeah, no, they're still having fun in Marquesas, so that's good. All right, pretty quick one. And now I'll come back and say g'day here. Okay, before we go, yeah, that's it. So just one shot I pulled up here just to explain some of the things. This is a long time ago. This was back in Portugal at Marina de Lagos with John and the boys, 99 and 100. Shipping from Australia is an epic job. We had quite a few. We had they put 2 in 40-foot container to ship it in, and it was late, so that sort of mucked up a bit of their timeline as well. Holiday Dan shipped his boat into the same spot, and he lost about 6 weeks on that one, but managed to keep working on the boat all the way through to Lanzarote, and then settled down for the Atlantic bit. And then Eric bought a boat in America, so it's pretty straightforward. And then Gary had to ship last minute change. Instead of shipping to Europe, he shipped it to Antigua. So huge job again. And part of their decision is going through this logistics. I'm not sure how much the container cost for John 99 and 100, but it wouldn't have been cheap. Probably about maybe 12, 13,000, and then all sorts of other little bits and pieces. A bit hard to say. They might mention that later on. Dan's wouldn't have been cheap because he had to ship, or decided to ship his boat in a 40-foot container. It was just easier, and that adds about another 30% to the cost, I suppose. And then not sure about Gary, whether it was cheaper or more expensive, because there's a bit more handling to get into Antigua. So those decisions, when they carry on past Australia, it increases their budget dramatically, because they sail all the way around Cape Town, up the Atlantic. They're in Antigua again, and what do they do next? Sell the boat, ship the boat back, stay there for a year or so and get some work, whatever. So big efforts all round, and all of the entrants, doesn't matter whether they're shipped in or not, there is a huge commitment on time, money, and it drives the passion. So it's not just a simple case of chuck your entry in and you're going to sail around the world. You've got all these things in the background, and the reality kicks in when you get going, and you've got to keep finding the money. And even the stopovers, they add a little bit. You still got to get your food, but everyone knows that. You've got to eat during the year anyway. But there's other unscheduled maintenance, all the bits and pieces. So it adds up. It'll be interesting to draw a line on it at the end. It'll be frightening, and to see what it's cost by the time everyone gets around. But that's the nature of adventure. When I did the bounty boat, we spent over $300,000 doing our bounty boat expedition. And, when we went in to live in Antarctica, it was like about an 800,000. Was it 800? No, that was the cheapest. I forget the numbers now. We had to buy the boat to do our box, all the rest of it. It was very expensive. It could have been close to that over the years, but we covered most of it when we sell the boat. And we did a book and a film and blah, blah, blah. But everything costs money. You can still do it cheap. It's a lot cheaper than doing some of the other things. You have a great time going around, and you see the emotion and the passion on the face of all the entrants. They're experiencing amazing stuff. I'm really quite envious. I wish I was there, but there you go. So anyway, enough of that. G'day, Christine, Bird Island, barreling down on Jacob. Cool. Rachel, g'day, Rachel. G'day, John. Remember to share and like and bits and pieces. Jonathan, just a reminder that this is still anyone's race. Just ask Simon from the GGR. That's sailing. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's never over till the fat lady sings, and they're all within touch. When you look, if they're going to get into Fiji, we'll see what the real-time overall position is of the fleet, and most of them will be within 4 or 5 days of each other. For the whole thing. So, and then it's the fun part about a group restart is that they're all racing side by side again. They're going to start off together, and so there's this whole new thing. Right, forget about the rest of it. That's history. Now they're back in the game, and I really, I feel sorry for Gary being stuck at the back of the fleet all the time. It's a bit lonely back there, and he would certainly have a lot of fun if he continues on. Whether he does, who knows what. We understand there's financial pressures, and that can colour the decisions that you've got to make, and that's a reality. But certainly fun factor increases when you're in amongst the fleet. And he's quite a fast sailor. He's a very good sailor, and it's a great boat. I'll be... Yeah, anyway, we won't... that's enough of that one. So, Dan's got a video up this morning. I haven't seen that yet. So, all right, that's it. I need to waffle on. Short one today. We'll hopefully see you tomorrow. And I'll press the right buttons and we'll get out of here, I think. Here we go. I'm not going to see. Here we go. Come on, play. It won't play.
History in the making. The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025. Small boat. Huge adventure.